The Commonwealth Games opening ceremony starts Thursday at 8 with daily highlights from the next day. Watch free on 5.
You're watching 5. It's 5 o'clock, which means it's time to head over to Dan Walker live at Downing Street now for 5 News.
Tonight on 5 News, a new Prime Minister. Andy Burnham and his wife moved into Downing Street today. There was a big crowd of staff and supporters, and he made some big promises.
Let us make this the moment when Britain starts to believe again. The moment we bring back hope.
We're live on Downing Street and we are not alone. The world is watching the famous front door. The Prime Minister is handing out jobs in there right now. We'll bring you everything you need to know. And we've got the rest of the day's news too, with tributes to the former England star and Liverpool legend Kevin Keegan, who's died from cancer. And the battle to contain raging wildfires in Scotland. It's going to be one of those busy old nights. Welcome to 5 News. We're live from Downing Street tonight, where it's all changed today. A few hours ago, just on this street, Andy Burnham delivered his first speech as new Prime Minister. Right now, he's in these rooms behind us, planning who's going to be part of his new government. It's one of those programmes where anything could happen. Our political editor, Andy Bell, is alongside us, as ever. Normal rules, Andy, out the window. Interrupt me, give me a poke. If you see someone behind me, answer your phone, all that business. You might be able to see just behind Andy, actually, that there are a couple of photographers. They're ready because we hear there's going to be an announcement, Andy, at 5 o'clock. It's all changed, isn't it, in the last few hours?
Yes, we were expecting cabinet appointments to have been made by this time, but it does seem to have slipped a little bit. As you say, we're expecting a big announcement at 5, so any minute, hopefully. We're assuming that's going to be the Chancellor. We're assuming that's going to be Shabana Mahmood, who has been the Home Secretary up until this point. What we have had so far is a lot of people being sacked from the cabinet. So, for instance, there'll be no other appointments yet, and we still wait for who's going to be appointed as Chancellor. But we've had, for instance, Rachel Reeves, most importantly, Chancellor. She's out. Reports that she was offered another job, but she didn't take it. That may contribute to the fact that perhaps things are slipping, because obviously if you're trying to put together a cabinet, if somebody doesn't take a job that you thought they were going to take, then you have to start reworking exactly what it is you're going to do. But that at this point is speculation, I have to say. But Rachel Reeves is out. David Lammy, Deputy Prime Minister, he's been fired. Peter Kyle, the Business Secretary, he is out as well. And Steve Reed, who was the Housing Secretary, very close ally of Keir Starmer, he has also been pushed out of the government.
I'm just seeing some new lines coming through as well. Joe Stevens out as Welsh Secretary as well. And to try and give you an idea of what's happened today. So Andy Burnham, we'll go through the story of the day a little bit later on, but I think it's one of those times where I get the feeling something big is going to happen in the next few minutes.
I'm looking over your shoulder.
Yeah, you keep looking that way. I'll keep looking that way.
Exactly.
Because you were here earlier on, and after that speech by the new Prime Minister, Andy Burnham, you're one of the privileged few who went to behind the back of where we are now, into the garden of number 10, and you had an on-the-record briefing with the new Prime Minister. What did he say?
Yeah, this was very unusual, actually. We got the message while we were waiting here that he was going to do that. So a number of political journalists were taken through, actually ran behind number 11 here, into the garden behind Downing Street. And the Prime Minister there took some questions about what his next moves were going to be. He did refer to a number of things that he's already mentioned. For instance, the fact that that threshold at which people start to pay income tax, around £12,500, he feels that's a concern. He wants to look into that. But one of the biggest points he made was, again, a point that he's made before about adult social care and his desire to fix that. And he had a line where he basically said, he really wouldn't want to leave office without having done something about fixing adult social care. Now, back when he was Health Secretary in around 2009, Andy Burnham tried to work up a plan to fix this. It's obviously something he feels strongly about. His father lives with Alzheimer's, and so he confronts a lot of this on a daily basis through his own family. But it's interesting that in that briefing we had in the garden, it was a point that he wanted to make again.
as well as talking to old team and new team today, he's also been making some international phone calls. And the first one, we think, was to President Trump.
Yeah, as far as we know, I mean, he called President Trump. It was interesting because he was indicating earlier that his first international call would actually be to President Zelensky in Ukraine. Perhaps they weren't quite sure inside Downing Street at what point they would be able to get the President of the US on the line, so maybe they're just a bit more cautious about that. But he has spoken to him, and it's being reported one of the first things he has said to the President is that the G20 big international summit, which is due next year to be hosted by the UK, will happen, guess where? In Manchester. So that's what's being reported so far.
OK, lots to get through today. We're going to keep an eye on things here. We're expecting the arrival of potentially
John Reed.
Brand new... OK, hold on.
John Healey. John Healey.
So John Healey, we'll show you these pictures as well.
John Healey is coming up the road. The former Defence Secretary, remember, he resigned. He looks like if he's walking up the road, it means he's been given a cabinet post, and we don't know what it is.
Yeah, that's an important point as well, isn't it? Anybody we see here now is going to get a job in government.
People have been, yeah.
Are you the new Chancellor?
What?
Are you the new Chancellor?
Are you taking over number 11, John Healey?
Are you in charge of...
Ignoring all the questions, everybody asking him, including you, Andy, whether he's going to be the new man in that door there, number 11 behind you.
Yeah, indeed.
Stony-faced.
Yeah, stony-faced. I must say, that was a surprise. I think we were all thinking whoever comes up for this first appointment at 5, and we're expecting appointments further on down around about 6 o'clock, that would be the new Chancellor. Now, we shouldn't assume because John Healey has gone in there, that means he's the new Chancellor. But it's not impossible. I mean, he was the Defence Secretary. He did that job for saying 6 years in total, 2 as in office, 4 in opposition. Resigned, if you remember, because he was very unhappy about the spending to support what he believed was necessary for defence for the country going forward. It was a big blow to Keir Starmer, frankly, that he resigned. He was considered a very loyal figure. But it's very interesting that he's the first person we see going in, which means he has got a big job, or is being offered a big job, but we don't know quite what.
And you can hear all the chatter here, because I think that's a surprise to quite a few people who are perhaps awaiting Shabana Mahmood to be here first up.
Yeah.
We'll continue to watch this, see if anyone else goes in or out. I think it's probably a really good point for you to tell us what happened today. Take us back to the start and run us through the whole programme.
That's right. We assume there's going to be a little bit of a gap now from what we've been told with new appointments. So basically, yes, the day began with Sir Keir Starmer, basically the man who was the 6th Prime Minister we've had in 10 years, giving way to the man who is now the 7th Prime Minister in 10 years.
We've known for a while that he was going. Today, though, was the formal handover and his last words as Prime Minister.
I go with good grace, I go with a smile, and I go proud of everything that we have achieved. Thank you very much.
So as Keir Starmer's team applaud him as he leaves Downing Street, we say goodbye to another Prime Minister and wait for his successor, and perhaps for more information, more insight about what he's going to do with his time in the top job. But first, an appointment at the palace, accompanied by his wife, Marie-France. This audience with the King, the constitutional moment Andy Burnham became Prime Minister. Minutes later, he headed off to Downing Street, a short drive to a very different life. Waiting for him there, a happy crowd of staff, supporters and family.
I have just come from Buckingham Palace, where I have accepted His Majesty the King's invitation to form a government.
He said he wanted a circuit breaker with the last 40 years of politics, and that he'd soon lay out a 10-year plan.
But I can do something to give people some breathing space now, some help with the cost of living. And I will set out some of those measures starting tomorrow, including how we pay for them.
He said his first instruction would be to end rough sleeping in the country, a measure in tune with what he seems to want to be the character of his government.
It's about putting the right values and the right standards at the heart of government. I will put the care of people at the heart of everything I do. I will give this my all, and I ask you all to pull with me. Let's build a new national sense of unity, of common purpose and positivity. Let us make this the moment when Britain starts to believe again, the moment we bring back hope. Thank you very much, everybody.
After soaking up the support of friends and family outside, his mother was there in the crowd, it was time to step into number 10. There, another welcome from the country's top civil servant and the Downing Street staff who now answer to Andy Burnham. For them, for him, the hard work now begins.
Hey, you're watching 5 News tonight. We're live on Downing Street, where, Andy, you've just given us an assessment of what's happened today. It's pretty much out of date already, because it's all been happening in the last few minutes, hasn't it? Talk us through what we saw with the former Defence Secretary, John Healey, just coming up.
Yeah, well, we were told to expect one big announcement or one big figure coming up for a cabinet appointment at 5. I guess we were all expecting that person to be the Chancellor. When that person came up the road, it was John Healey, as you say, the former Defence Secretary. Now, we don't know what job he is going in to be offered, but it's not impossible that he is going to be offered the job of Chancellor. He would be a safe pair of hands, somebody that I'm sure that Andy Burnham would feel they could trust. But that is speculation as to what kind of job he is getting. He's going to get his old job back. I mean, he resigned when he was annoyed about the amount of money that was being set aside to fund what he thought was necessary for defence. Perhaps he's had assurances that there will be the proper money now for defence. Who knows? But we're not expecting, I'm afraid, other appointments for a little while yet. Hopefully some people will be coming up the street. And remember, as you said, if they're coming up the street, it means they've been offered a job.
Good news for them if we see them today.
Exactly.
OK, thank you. Well, Andy Burnham is the new PM, and there's a lot of people getting on with that. We've sent Rebecca Bagoro out and about in Nuneaton today to find out what people there think would be his top priority. And she's brought a familiar face with her as well. Have a look.
People always open up over a good meal. So what better way to find out what Brits make of the new PM than over a fry-up?
It's quite straightforward, isn't it? Andy Burnham. Problem is, who is he? What's he stand for? Nobody knows.
Truthfully, when people come into power, do we ever really know? So we're just all waiting to see.
We've come to Nuneaton because it's a bellwether seat, meaning the way that people vote here usually reflects the national outcome. In 2024, they backed Labour, but Reform recently took over the council. So let's find out if the street that shares his name even knows who he is. We couldn't get the real man down here today. He's a bit tied up, so this cardboard cutout will have to do instead.
Well, he's supposed to be the great white hope for the Labour Party, isn't he? And hopefully the country. At the moment, I'm ready to back him no matter what. But then again, I've voted Labour at the last election, and I'll probably vote Labour in the next election. So, you know, anybody to keep reform out.
If you bumped into him in the street, he could walk past. Would you recognise him?
No, I would not probably recognise him. Former Mayor of Manchester, newly created Prime Minister. I hope to hear from him that he understands the circumstances and aspirations of ordinary people.
Now we know Andy Burnham has many talents.
I can play guitar. I can play guitar at a reasonably good level.
He's told us once or twice. But can Mr. Burnham play the right game with these arcade workers? We've brought out Mini Andy for this one.
If you had to say anything to the Prime Minister today, what would you say you need to hear from him?
More needs to be done. I think we need to hear more about the Prime Minister, because I didn't even know who he was. I haven't heard anything.
Say cost of living and that, and so my daughter grows up with an easier future and not one where it's second guessed and everyone's not sure on what's going on.
I know diesel's only just starting to come down as well, like your fuel, so if you could keep bringing that down as well, that would help a lot of people.
Some didn't recognise him at all, but everyone had an opinion on changes that need to be made. So if he's hoping for beginner's luck to strike big with the public, he might be disappointed. Rebecca Bagoro, 5 News, Nuneaton.
Well, thank you to everybody who spoke to us about that today. We're here live on Downing Street. Andy Bell is with us. More news for us, someone who's gone.
Yes, yet another sacking, someone pushed out of the cabinet. Darren Jones, who was the chief secretary to the Prime Minister, very, very close ally of Keir Starmer. I don't think it's any surprise that he is gone from the cabinet. Just occurred to me, I mean, I saw this earlier on, when Keir Starmer was giving his goodbye speech here today, there were a number of cabinet ministers lined up behind him, and at the time I thought, I guess that means you guys think you're all on the way out. And sure enough, it has proved so far, because Darren Jones was there, Steve Reid was there, Rachel Reeves was there, David Lammy was there, and sure enough, we know they've all been sacked or left the cabinet.
Very much a new broom going on. Can I ask you a bit about style as well? Because Andy Burnham has promised a different way of doing politics. And today, many of our viewers will probably notice, yes, there was a tie. Maybe that's because he saw the King earlier on today. But there were no notes, there was no lectern, and it seemed a little freer than we've seen politicians in the past.
Yeah, and I think he's quite keen to try and hang on to that more informal style as long as he can. It was a point he made in the speech where I was on Friday at the TUC when he became official leader of the Labour Party. You know, he says, I have a style, and I'm paraphrasing, but basically I don't want to give it up. And yes, of course, when he went to see the King, he had a proper jacket and a proper tie on. But I suspect we may well see our new Prime Minister often not wearing a tie. So that will be a different, a change of style, certainly from Keir Starmer, who was always, you know, I'd say quite a formal man when he felt he had to be in fulfilling his public duties. But the other point you mentioned is he gave that speech in front of number 10, Andy Burnham, not with a printed text in front of him. He was giving it a speech that he had essentially memorised, and he gave it without the big famous lectern sitting in front of him, which had actually come out for Keir Starmer. But once Keir Starmer had gone, the lectern went as well, and Andy Burnham just had a much more simpler sort of mic set up in front of him. So I think there is an attempt, for as long as they can, to try and keep that slightly more informal style about the new Prime Minister.
OK, Andy's going to stick around till the end of the programme, but we'd love to hear from you as well. I am armed with the 5 phone tonight here on Downing Street. Tell us what you make of what you've heard so far from the new Prime Minister on day one, and what would you like to hear from him? What should be his top priority as well? And are you fed up with the revolving door of leaders that we've had in Britain in the last few years? WhatsApp us tonight on the 5 phone, 07555 500 501. Don't forget to tell us your name and where you are getting contact from as well, and we'll share some of those messages a little later in the programme. Plenty more happening here away from number 10 as well. We'll keep you up to date with all that from Downing Street in a moment, but let's pick up on some other stories tonight. And a man has denied murdering a mother of one who was shot outside a bar in Sheffield. Shanice Brooks died in May while on a night out. That was in the city centre, and police say she was an innocent bystander. Jamel Roan will stand trial early next year. And police have confirmed that a man has died after getting into difficulty in the sea near Cullercoats Bay in North Tyneside. Concerns were raised yesterday evening, and a second man was taken to hospital. He is currently stable. Some really sad news from the world of football today as well. The former England footballer and manager and legend of Liverpool Football Club, Kevin Keegan, has died at the age of 75. Alan Shearer is one of the many who've been paying tribute today. He said this: "My hero, my manager, my friend. Sleep easy, boss." Prince William has also paid his respects and said he inspired generations. Earlier this year, Keegan revealed he was living with stage 4 cancer. Here's Natalia Horkera with more on his incredible life and career.
The story of modern English football cannot be told without Kevin Keegan. Born in Doncaster, he became one of England's greatest footballers, a forward known for his goals, his determination and his hairstyles, which were almost as famous as his football. Signed by Bill Shankly in 1971, Kevin Keegan became a key part of a Liverpool side that dominated English football, winning league titles, the FA Cup and European honours.
In again towards Kevin Keegan!
For England, he won 63 caps, scored 21 goals and represented his country at major tournaments, including the 1982 World Cup. And his influence on football continued long after his playing career ended. In 1992, Kevin Keegan took charge of Newcastle United and transformed the club's fortunes.
This is the only job I've ever wanted. I think we've got tremendous potential here. but potential's only any good if we realise it.
By Manchester United. And as the pressure mounted, one interview became part of football. He became England manager, taking charge of the national team between 1999 and 2000, before spells managing Manchester City and returning to Newcastle. Earlier this year, Kevin Keegan's family revealed he had been diagnosed with stage 4 cancer after investigations into ongoing abdominal symptoms. He leaves behind a career that spanned generations of English football as a player, a manager and one of the sport's most recognisable figures.
That's Natalia Horkera, remembering the life and career of Kevin Keegan, who sadly died today at the age of 75. Plenty more to come on today's programme for you. We're live here at Downing Street tonight, but let me show you Edinburgh last night, very close to Arthur's Seat. Just the latest wildfire in Scotland. We'll be finding out why we're seeing so many of them at the moment. And talking about things heating up, tempers were running very high at the World Cup final last night. Were you watching? We've got all the highlights for you. And Claire has got the weather.
Thanks, Dan. A settled week ahead with some warm, if not very warm, sunshine. More cloud and a little rain across the north and northwest of Scotland, and then a change coming in across the north through the weekend. More details coming up.
Thank you, Claire. We'll be back here live in just a couple of minutes.
Hi, I'm Sean Wallace, the TV quizzer. I take on challenges every day, but my biggest challenge, my weight. But now I've lost 2 stone with Jane Plan. I tried doing it on my own, but always failed. But Jane Plan makes it easy.
All your calorie-counted meals will be delivered to your door, and you'll be supported by a nutritionist. There's 28 breakfasts, 28 lunches, 28 snacks, and 28 delicious dinners. On top of that, it's from just £2.70 a meal. Yes, £2.70 a meal. Go to janeplan.com.
I've lost 3.5 stone. I feel like me again. I've lost 2 stone and 5 inches off my waist.
Jane Plan has changed my life. I lost 3 stone in just 6 months. Plus, it's less than my weekly shop.
With Jane Plan, I didn't need to live on lettuce leaves, and it tastes delicious too. Now I'm 2 stone lighter. My clothes feel more comfortable. I feel more energised and healthier. Outsmarting the competition is what I do. Outsmarting my weight? That's down to Jane Plan.
Go to janeplan.com. It's from just £2.70 a meal. Or call us today on 0800 612 7833. That's janeplan.com.
Women, does your body mystify myths? You know what to do.
Put on a happy face, yeah?
More teasers, looking on the light side for 90 years.
Hello?
Hello, this is Claire from Verisure. The sensor on your kitchen window has triggered your alarm and we can see someone climbing in.
No, we're in Mallorca at the minute. What do I do?
Look, we're here for you and the police are on their way.
Oh, thank you. Could you please keep me updated?
Yes, of course we will. No problem.
Nothing was stolen. The police arrested the intruder. Last year, we intervened in 4,493 emergencies in the UK. Be safer. Be sure. Very sure.
At USwitch, our experts fight to get you fairer prices on your energy, broadband and mobile, keeping hungry beaks out of your pockets. Switch and save now at uswitch.com.
The 10 tenders bucket for $7.99. Get the deal, believe in chicken.
Love Q or hate Q? Remember to take a break from Q.
Mr. Q.
Something big is crashing into cinemas.
All right, Pops. Whatever this island throws at us, we'll be prepared. We are so not prepared! Look out! Come on, Pops! We've got Dino Island to save. Run! I'm running! I'm a bulldog! This is as fast as I can go!
Paw Patrol, the Dino movie. The O2 summer sale is here. Pick up the epic Samsung Galaxy S26 Ultra and save up to an incredible £781. Plus, roam freely in the EU, up to 25 gig. O2,
essential for living.
For those...
Yep, it's all veggie.
Times, Richmond. For good times at tea times, on 5.
You were in the police?
35 years. There's always enough evidence if you look hard enough.
You can solve this case.
Why would I want to do that?
Brand new, Benidorm is Murder. Starts Thursday, 30th of July, on 5.
Welcome back. We are live from Downing Street for you tonight on 5 News. More on Andy Burnham's first day as Prime Minister to come, but plenty of other stuff happening today as well. After nearly 6 weeks, the World Cup has come to an end, and it was quite a final. Performance from Madonna, white trainers in a suit from the boss of FIFA. President Trump was there as well. There was also a football match. Spain beat Argentina 1-0 to claim the title. Our chief correspondent Tessa Chapman has more.
Back on home soil, carrying football's biggest prize. The World Cup is over, but the party in Spain is just beginning. 0-0 at half-time, and the football made way for a showbiz spectacle. Brazilian legends Ronaldo and Ronaldinho escorting Madonna onto the pitch. With more superstars to follow. Social media showed the split on whether sport needs added entertainment, from "I'm blown away, what a party," to "look how they massacred my beautiful game."
I like a lot of the matches, but I thought it was crap.
No dignity in defeat. There were boos from the crowd when President Trump and the FIFA boss took to the pitch for the medal ceremony. Controversies over ticket prices, hydration breaks and interference. But was the World Cup overall a success?
I think what this showed was the danger of the suits and all the president's men, Infantino and Trump, getting involved. The American striker had his suspension suspended so that he could play against Belgium. So that was damaging. But on a very sort of street level, it was people talking to people. It was a brilliant party, despite the behaviour of one or two of the hosts.
And the party now is Spain's, including superstar Lamine Yamal and his younger brother, a fan favourite who stole the show again. This team, already European, now world champions, after a tournament to remember for many reasons. Tessa Chapman, 5 News.
So that's the story of the World Cup final from last night. Spain are world champions once again. We were showing you during that a little bit of activity behind us here, Andy. We've seen Ed Miliband and Shabana Mahmood. So judge their faces for me. What do you think?
Well, they were both having a good old laugh together. I mean, I'm afraid sometimes this can be a bit performative when you have politicians, when they know a whole lot of cameras are pointing at them. But they were making sure they would look like they were having a great time together. What can we say? Shabana Mahmood, currently Home Secretary. I know that she wanted to stay in that job, but the speculation has been very hot recently that she is going to be appointed as Chancellor to replace Rachel Reeves. Ed Miliband, initially, a lot of his team were talking up the idea that he should be Chancellor. He's currently Energy Secretary and Net Zero. What's interesting about this is, whatever happens with the appointment to Chancellor, there is quite a good chance that Andy Burnham will have his first sort of row with one bit of the Labour Party, because an awful lot of Labour MPs wanted Ed Miliband to be Chancellor, felt he was the right man who understood what was needed for the economy, but an awful lot didn't. So in other words, if he gets the job, there'll be a lot of people who are unhappy. If he doesn't get the job, another lot of people would be unhappy. But we have to say, at this stage, we don't know what jobs they are getting when they went in through that door.
And it's also interesting on a day like today, because you get a little bit of an idea of what happens behind the scenes, don't you? Because there was an interview that Andy Burnham did earlier on today where he was told that there'd been some people behind the scenes briefing against Ed Miliband in his own party, and he fundamentally said that wasn't the case.
Well, exactly. I mean, all prime ministers tend to say this, let's be honest, but Andy Burnham has made a real issue about saying, I'm not going to allow this kind of briefing to go on. I mean, Keir Starmer said he didn't want it to go on either, but it still happened. It's a bit like complaining about the weather, I'm afraid. It's one of those facts about politics that you do have people who are prepared to brief, if necessarily in favour of or more normally against somebody else. Andy Burnham, I'm sure, genuinely wants to try and stop that happening from inside his Downing Street, but it's going to be a struggle.
OK, we're going to try and bring you an update on what's happening with the ongoing wildfires that are happening in parts of Scotland at the moment. Andy, are you going to keep an eye on what's happening behind me?
I will, yeah.
OK, so we might break off at any point, but we saw these pictures from Arthur's Seat in Edinburgh last night. Let's show you a little bit of what was going on. Firefighters are still working to contain that, and part of the Cairngorms National Park have been on fire for several days. We're joined now by Dr. Zachary Campbell-Lockery, who's a lecturer in fire science at the University of Edinburgh. Thank you very much for being with us tonight. Give us an idea. We've seen some of the pictures there. How bad has it been, and why is it happening so regularly?
Yeah, thanks, Dan. I think it's very dramatic scenes we're seeing. Obviously, you're there by Downing Street for the broadcast tonight, but this fire on Arthur's Seat was right by the Scottish Parliament, right in the centre of Edinburgh. So really visible smoke over the city, and a really visible demonstration of what's been happening across the country, across the UK, and now in Scotland over the last few days with these wildfires. Given the hot, dry conditions we've had over the last few days, vegetation drying out, making it really susceptible to an ignition source and rapid fire spread like we've seen in some of these fires over the last few days.
Who knows?
And anyone who's concerned about watching these things, is it an issue with climate change? What's going on?
Yeah, so we're seeing some interesting trends happening. So traditionally for Scotland and the UK, we'd have thought of the sort of spring being the real peak of the wildfire risk and activity. We used to talk about spring peak, where we have a lot of dead vegetation that dries very quickly, very easily. But what we're seeing is that risk really extend into the summer with these hot, dry conditions we're having, not only this year, but last year, 2025, one of the worst wildfire years on record for Scotland, one of the largest wildfire recorded in the UK at Darva and Carbridge. And really looking forward, what we're seeing is predictions that we're going to see more and more of this going into the future, predicted that we're going to have hotter, drier summers with climate changes. And that's going to continue to present these sorts of challenges. It's going to mean that we have extended heat wave periods, drought periods where vegetation's allowed to get drier and drier. And so it's going to require a change in the way we respond to these kind of incidents, and also going to require all of us to do our bit to protect these landscapes around us.
OK, really good to hear from you. Thank you very much for joining us tonight on 5 News. We are live on Downing Street tonight, reflecting on the first day of new Prime Minister Andy Burnham. How many Prime Ministers is too many? You might think 7 in 10 years is getting close. We'll be finding out what you have to say about all of that. Thank you for sending us those on the 5 phone tonight. First, though, let's bring you the weather with Claire.
Whatever the weather, there are clearer days ahead. Weather on 5, sponsored by Sterimar Hay Fever and Allergy Relief.
The weather remains mostly settled until Friday, although we will see more cloud and also some patchy rain and drizzle across the north and northwest of Scotland. And that's how we see this evening and overnight. A little more cloud for Northern Ireland. 1 or 2 showers could clip the east coast of England. Inland, some starry skies, and across rural Scotland, rural Wales, where you do see those starry skies, it's going to turn rather chilly. Temperatures could dip down to 5-6 degrees Celsius. For most, though, towns and cities holding up in double figures. Into tomorrow morning, here's that rain and drizzle across the far north of Scotland. The cloud streams in across Northern Ireland, perhaps some breaks across southern parts of Northern Ireland. Elsewhere, sunny spells. The cloud could build through the middle part of the day. A dry day for most, though, and also a very warm one. The central belt 26 Celsius, mid Wales down towards the southeast of England, similar temperatures, and we could squeeze a 20 for Northern Ireland if you catch a little bit of brightness. Into Wednesday, more in the way of cloud generally. Some brighter breaks coming through, some sunshine across central and southern areas, helping temperatures up towards the mid-20s. And your outlook then through Thursday. Some showery bursts across the north, some sunshine elsewhere, and warmer still on Friday.
Whatever the weather, there are clearer days ahead. Weather on 5, sponsored by Sterimar Breathe Easy Daily.
You're watching 5 News. We're live from Downing Street tonight on the day that Andy Burnham has become the UK's new Prime Minister. Let's remind you of exactly how the events have unfolded. It's been a busy day today. Mr Burnham was asked by the King to form a government this afternoon. The new Prime Minister says his #1 challenge is to improve the lives of the people of the United Kingdom. Around an hour earlier, his predecessor, Sir Keir Starmer, also went to Buckingham Palace to formally offer his resignation as Prime Minister to the King. Following out of government, Rachel Reeves sacked as Chancellor. She said doing the job had been the privilege of her life. She was offered a new role, but said no. Also out, Deputy Prime Minister David Lammy. In his leaving statement, he said he would continue to support this government from the backbenches. Into government, former Defence Secretary John Healey, who's arrived here while we've been on air tonight. Mr Healey resigned last month over what he called insufficient defence funding. And in the last few minutes, these two have turned up as well. Energy Secretary Ed Miliband and the Home Secretary Shabana Mahmood, both heavily tipped to be the next Chancellor, both enjoying themselves on the way in as well. We await any confirmation of what those new jobs might be. Well, the Prime Minister was speaking here behind us a few hours ago, trying to set the tone for his new job. Let's have a listen in.
We will help people to live well, building a more preventative state, investing in people's success rather than paying for failure. And that work starts now. I will soon go through that door behind me and issue my first instruction to end rough sleeping in our country. It's about putting the right values and the right standards at the heart of government. I will put the care of people at the heart of everything I do. I will give this my all, and I ask you all to pull with me. Let's build a new national sense of unity, of common purpose and positivity.
Well, Andy told us earlier, that's Andy Bell, by the way, not Andy Burnham. Our political editor told us earlier that his first phone call, Andy Burnham, was to President Trump, the leader of America. We also understand he's now spoken to President Zelensky of Ukraine as well. So as we heard him there in his first instruction, he says it's his plan to end rough sleeping. Well before heading here this morning, he visited a homeless charity in London. They're called The Passage, and we can speak now to their CEO, Mick Clark, who joins us live on 5 News. Mick, thank you for spending a bit of time with us. I'm sure it's been a busy day for you as well. What's it like having a visit from the new Prime Minister, the first thing he does in the job?
Nice to chat with you, Dan. Yeah, it was great. The Passage is all about preventing and ending homelessness, and it was really great for the Prime Minister to come and see for firsthand in terms of people on the street, but also hear about the work that we're doing to prevent it from happening in the first place, and most importantly hear the voice of people with lived experience. It was a great way, I think, for him to start the day, and it was great to have him at the Passage.
He seems very passionate about this subject, Mick. What is the scale of the problem in the UK at the minute?
Well, it's huge, really, in terms of the most acutest form, nearly 5,000 people on the streets. That's a conservative estimate. Over 380,000 people across all forms of homelessness. And I think we've really got to get to a position where we treat this as the emergency that it is. So in terms of tackling rough sleeping, but also that we try and stop this cycle. So that's why our work around prevention is so important. So tackle the crisis, but actually tackle the root causes so that we break this cycle.
And there's so much he wants to do. There's a lot, at the start of a new tenure like this, there's a lot that he will talk about as well. I know this is going to put you on the spot a little bit. Do you get the feeling he's up to it?
Well, the proof of the pudding's always in the eating, but it was very good. I've certainly never experienced a Prime Minister who on their first day in office, the very first thing that they do is to come to somewhere like the Passage. It's also great to have a bold aim and to make that commitment. And I think one of the things we've been missing is leadership on this issue. So he's not on his own in this. There are so many great organisations, charities out there who want to work with him. So set the goal and let's work together to try and achieve it.
What job have you got?
Mick, thank you very much for joining us. It's all happening down here at the moment as well. Andy Bell is with us. Andy, this is Louise Haigh coming in. She's been in the news quite a bit in the last few months.
Louise Haigh is absolutely as close to Andy Burnham as you can get in the House of Commons at the moment. Louise Haigh, what job are you getting?
Are you the UCPL?
Louise Haigh, you Chancellor of Duchy of Lancaster.
Stony-faced, Andy.
Yeah, stony-faced. They're all being, well, apart from the other guys were all laughing when they went to, but they still didn't say it. Stony-faced or laughing, they're still not saying. No, Louise Haigh, absolutely central to the Andy Burnham project. She was there with the Makerfield by-election. Everyone is expecting her to get an absolutely central role, maybe what they call the CDL, the Chancellor of the Duchy of Lancaster, which is a kind of role that helps oversee all of government and delivery. But she will, whatever happens, she'll have whatever job she's doing, she will be very much part of the Andy Burnham project.
And what actually happens inside there? Do they go in, they sit down, and then and they have a chat about the job that he has ideally for them? Can they turn that down? Is that a wise move to make at this point?
They can turn it down, and we think that it's possible that Rachel Reeves was offered another job. I haven't been able to confirm that, and that she didn't take it after she was told she was no longer going to be Chancellor. Basically, you come in and you wait when your turn comes. It's a bit like waiting at the dentist. You go in to see the top person in charge, and they say, this is the job I want to offer you, and you normally say, yes, I'll take it. Sometimes people say, no, I don't want it. I mean, Jeremy Hunt, for instance, when he was sacked as Chancellor, he refused to take Defence Secretary, for instance. He didn't want to do it. So it can happen, but most of the time you wait, you have your quick interview. It's not an interview. You have your moment with the Prime Minister, and then you usually take the job you're offered.
OK, so it can take just a few minutes. So we expect to get some announcements while we're on air tonight before 6 o'clock, hopefully.
I would hope so. I would imagine so.
I'm just going to read a couple of FIFO messages because they are coming in, loads of these coming in. Shell from the West Midlands says she has no confidence in Labour at all tonight. In my lifetime, I've given up counting the number of Prime Ministers. We'll see another Prime Minister at least in the next 3 years, she says. Diane's in Malden. Good evening, Diane. Says, despite all the hopes expressed, it will be more of the same. Faye's in Prestwick. She wants a new Prime Minister to drop the retirement age back down to 60 and offer more employment for younger generations. I've got one more from Ian in Darwin, who wants Andy Burnham, his words, to sort out immigration and stop the boat. So lots of the same things that we've been talking about before. Obviously, a new Prime Minister, same old problems. Loads more to tell you about here tonight, including who might be the next Chancellor. These two, Energy Secretary Ed Miliband and the Home Secretary Shabana Mahmood, came in with a big smile on their face about 10-15 minutes ago. Could one of them be in the job at number 11? They're in there right now. It'd be good fun to be a fly on the wall in there, wouldn't it? As well as that big decision, we'll be looking at what else is in the new Prime Minister's in tray and what other big challenges he might be facing. All of that to come with Andy Bell, who's having a little bit of a break for the next few minutes. Don't go anywhere. See you in a moment.
Get package holidays from £399 per person and last-minute summer flights from £32 one way. EasyJet. Get out there.
I think I was probably 8 or 9 when I picked my first basket of cherries.
But what are you doing right now to then ensure that next generation and maybe generation after that is still going to be a part of it?
Biodiversity is very important. You know, we've got about 60 honeybee hives, which encourages all that wonderful wildlife. Without proper pollination, we don't get these stunning cherries.
So you've got this wonderful wildlife environment, and the end result is the perfect cherry.
I don't think you can get any better.
Is M&S or are you going to be upset if I take one and eat it?
Oh, I think you're allowed to do that.
Nurofen asked women, how does it feel when your pain is dismissed?
Pain is part of being a woman. Move 2 steps back.
It's all in your head.
Undiagnosed.
Lose a turn.
I'm
just too sensitive.
Nurofen is funding research to help end women's pain dismissals.
Your pain is real. Move 3 steps forward.
I knew then I wasn't crazy.
Together, let's see women's pain.
Yes, Anusol relieves piles, but it can also be used for itchy bums. Tickly, too itchy, itchy. Your bum isn't always going to be peachy. Don't put up with a bothersome bottom itch. For piles and itchy bum, trust Anusol.
You might want to go for your usual, but I say mix it up. 2 flavours, 2 right. Just get the Raspberry Sprite Zero. Now at McCafe.
Worried about lines and wrinkles? Before procedures, try Olay Regenerist. The microsculpting cream technology penetrates 10 surface layers deep to boost surface cell renewal. For firmer, smoother, more radiant-looking skin. Now, protect with new SPF 50. For me, it's only Olay.
When you need to get tough on pain, Neuromol Dual Action combines the power of paracetamol and ibuprofen to provide faster, longer-lasting, more effective relief than regular painkillers alone. Hit pain hard with Neuromol Dual Action.
Want salon quality hair every day? 8 in 10 think the answer is Tresemme Professional Thermo Sculpt Memory. For hair that feels healthier, to help lock in up to 72-hour style resilience.
It's the new Tresemme.
Try it.
Welcome back to Britain's most iconic safari park.
Conservation is at the heart of everything we do.
Discover a place, centuries in the making.
Everything at Longleat has an energy from the past.
Where history runs wild. The new series of Inside Longleat starts Tuesday at 8 on 5.
Welcome back to Downing Street in the late evening sunshine. It's beautiful down here. It's a day that Andy Burnham, the new Prime Minister, day one today, is trying to get on with the business of putting his government together. All those meetings are happening right now, just in these rooms behind us. It's worth reflecting, though, on a pretty shocking statistic. He is our 7th Prime Minister in the last 10 years. Have a look at this list. David Cameron resigned in 2016, making way for Theresa May. Then came Boris Johnson, Liz Truss for 44 days, Rishi Sunak, beaten them by Sir Keir Starmer in that general election 2 years ago, only 2 years ago. And now he's been ousted by a man from his own party, our latest Prime Minister, Andy Burnham. Andy Bell is interviewed, spoken to, lived through, as many of us have, the lives and the careers of all of those Prime Ministers. It does remind you, doesn't it? It is a job which is harder than ever to hold on to.
It is, and I think that there's lots of reasons for that. You know, social media speeding up the way politics is consumed by people. Their patience maybe is getting less. But also, frankly, the economic difficulties we've had over the last 10, 15 years. And that's one of the real challenges now for Andy Burnham. He's saying that he's going to stick to what are called the fiscal rules. That's basically a fancy way of saying I'm not going to borrow or tax or spend too much. But at the same time, a lot of what we're hearing from him does cost money. Even today, the announcement about ending homelessness in the UK. Also, any kind of plan to fix adult social care. That could potentially cost billions. At the same time, he's saying he's going to stick to these rules. He's not going to raise national insurance, income tax, VAT. Can he really square this circle? And he's got to convince the people who invest in Britain, the people who lend us money to finance our debt, that he's going to keep a control on finances. And that's quite a tough job when you're also promising to do lots of new things that he believes his government should be doing.
Just hearing that Hilary Benn is out as Northern Ireland Secretary as well.
That's interesting.
And the change. This is one of those days where it's all happening while we're on air. We've had quite a few people go in, quite a few people we know have gone out. For anyone who's just joining, Sandy, it's probably worth running through. So before we came on air, we had Rachel Reeves left as Chancellor. We know that. She was offered a job, we think, but she said no to that. Who else is some of the big movers who've gone?
Right, well, there was David Lammy, who was the Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Justice. Steve Reed, who was the Housing Secretary.
Liz Kendall,
Liz Kendall, DWP. Science, Innovation and Technology. She was at DWP before she was moved. Peter Kyle, Business, all those. Hilary Benn, I mean, he is the son of Tony Benn. I'm sure a lot of people will remember Tony Benn as well. But he's been an absolute stalwart, again, of the Labour Party. The Labour Party in government served in Tony Blair and Gordon Brown's governments, brought back as, again, a really safe, solid, respected pair of hands to do what is still a very difficult job in Northern Ireland. But presumably, maybe he's decided the time is up, or it's a time to bring in new faces with a new Prime Minister.
And while we've been on air, we've seen John Healey go in there.
Yeah.
We saw Shabana Mahmood, the current Home Secretary, and Ed Miliband go in together.
Yes.
And we've also seen Louise Haigh go in.
Yeah.
So all of those are potentially talking about big jobs in government.
I'm sure all of those will get big jobs. What we don't know is who's going to get which big job. I mean, it's worth reminding ourselves about Louise Haigh again, who, as I say, is incredibly close to Andy Burnham. She had to resign as Transport Secretary. She was basically pushed out by Keir Starmer when a historic issue of fraud, before she went into politics, she had had a mobile phone stolen. It turned out, for whatever reason, it had not been stolen. She was actually prosecuted for fraud and had to resign. But she was very bitter, I think it's fair to say, that she was pushed out by Keir Starmer because she had told him about that historic case before she was put into the cabinet. But when it became public, he sacked her. So she was not happy about that.
We can show you everyone we think who's moved in and walked in. So potentially these are the people who might be having a job in cabinet. Where exactly those jobs will be, Andy, who knows? We'll find out in the coming hours, though, won't we?
Yeah. They're definitely the top people in the team, who are going to be there. What we don't know is who's going to do what job. Shabana Mahmood, Ed Miliband, John Healey and Louise Haigh there.
You talked a little bit about those fiscal rules that he was asked about, how he makes the economy do what he needs to do to put those changes in place. Something else which has been talked about in the last few days is that mandate, and even people throwing in the election word as well, because if he's going to change direction quite significantly, does he have a mandate for doing the things he wants to do as Prime Minister?
And I think they're very conscious of that. I mean, as far as I can see, they do not want to call an early general election, but they realise that means they also have to stick to the mandate from the 2024 election, which is why Andy Burnham talks about sticking to the fiscal rules, sticking to those promises on taxation. Interestingly, he does say if there's any flexibility around the fiscal rules, he wants to see if that can be explored. But I think they definitely take the view that it's easier for them to argue against having an early election if they're seen to be holding to the manifesto from 2024.
OK, I'm sure you'll be back tomorrow to summarise everything that's happened in the last 24 hours for us. That is it from us, though, tonight here at Downing Street. A lot has changed since we came on air at 5 o'clock. A lot will continue to change by the time we see you again tomorrow. We've got updates for you throughout the evening, and we'll see you again tomorrow and do it all over again at 5 on 5. Good night.
Whatever the weather, there are clearer days ahead. Weather on 5, sponsored by Sterimar Hay Fever and Allergy Relief.
The working week ahead is looking settled with some warm, if not very warm air, and also some sunshine. However, there will always be more cloud across the north and northwest of Scotland with some patchy rain and drizzle, and that's how we see it this evening and overnight. Notice 1 or 2 light showers could clip eastern counties. A little more cloud for Northern Ireland, but across rural Wales, rural parts of Scotland, temperatures could actually dip down to mid-single figures. A bit of a chilly start to the day come Tuesday morning, but for most it's a fine morning with sunny spells. This rain could become a little bit more persistent across the north and northwest of Scotland. The cloud will stream in across Northern Ireland. A few spits and spots of rain can't be ruled out here. For most, though, it's another fine day. The cloud may build through the middle part of the day, but some sunshine to end the afternoon. And here are your temperatures: 26 Celsius across the central belt of Scotland, as well as East Wales down towards the southeast. And we could squeeze a 20 in shelter across Northern Ireland in the south. Now, on Wednesday, here's that rain becoming a bit more persistent and showery across central and northern areas of Scotland. The cloud will spill ahead of it as well, but still some brighter skies to end the day across more southern and central areas as temperatures arrive 25, 27 Celsius. And even along this east coast, we'll see 21, 22 Celsius for high teens across central parts of Scotland. Your outlook then through Thursday: a mostly dry day with some sunshine, always more cloud across the far north and northwest of Scotland, and that will herald a change in our weather as we head into the weekend with some rain coming in across central and northern areas. I'll see you later.
Whatever the weather, there are clearer days ahead. Weather on 5, sponsored by Sterimar Breathe Easy Daily.
When it
it comes to retirement advice, the last thing you want is to be put into a bucket. Seen simply as this type, that type, or the other type. At Fisher Investments UK, we never put you into a bucket. We always treat you as an individual, tailoring retirement advice that's just right for you. Fisher Investments UK, retirement advice that's as individual as you are.
Get package holidays from £399 per person. And last-minute summer flights from £32 one way. EasyJet. Get out there.
Step into your future with the university that can take you anywhere.
Just really a foot on the side.
All by yourself. Listen to everybody say, ain't nobody.
Thank you, Your Honour. The case is very, very simple.
Gotta be me.
The Open University. The future is open.
Oh, where'd he go? Knock, knock. Who's there? No one. Enough.
Quiet your my mouth with extra gum. Chew good.
What makes your teeth unique is what makes them hard to clean. A worn brush head makes cleaning even harder. Over time, it gets less effective at cleaning your teeth and gums, leaving more bacteria behind. So remember to switch to a new Oral-B brush head every 3 months. A new brush head fully adapts to the hard-to-reach places between teeth, removing plaque and boosting cleaning power back to 100%. So check, change, and get back to your perfect clean with Oral-B.
Demand an electric drive that makes you feel alive. Refuse ordinary. Believe you deserve more. No compromises, just all the spec, all as standard. New all-electric Leap Motor V05. Change the game.
The 10 tenders bucket for $7.99. Get the deal, believe in chicken.
The people we love spreading germs and bringing them home on their clothes. Regular detergents leave germs behind. Add Dettol laundry sanitizer to kill them, even on a cold wash. And to keep your washing machine as clean as your clothes, use Dettol washing machine cleaner. Formulated for those hard-to-reach places.
Worried about lines and wrinkles? Before procedures, try Olay Regenerist. The microsculpting cream technology penetrates 10 surface layers deep to boost surface cell renewal for firmer, smoother, more radiant-looking skin. Now, protect with new SPF 50. For me, it's only Olay.
My credit score wasn't very good at the time.
The other lenders were rejecting me, but then Aqua said yes.
After 18 months of credit building, I was finally able to get a mortgage.
It's a great feeling.
Get that better credit feeling with Aqua, the smart way to build better credit. Representative 39.9% APR variable.
Sort MTD Simply with Sage for free. Connect to your bank, we'll sort your transactions, then submit to HMRC.
This is the life. Signature quality, expertly crafted, and a comforting 15-year guarantee. Life is about the company you keep. Search the Cotswold Company today.
This summer on Home and Away. For some, a new beginning.
She's interested in him.
She definitely has feelings.
Why don't you two mind your own business? You may have feelings for me.
If I did, that'd be the worst thing in the world.
For others,
This is awesome.
a terrible ending.
Anna's missing. Come on.
Home and Away, weekdays at 6:30 on 5 Star, or stream first, weekday mornings on 5.
We're always taking patients in. It's a 24-hour service, 7 days a week. You all right, Janet?
I'll say yes.
These girls will sort it out.
You're a superstar.
Casualty 24/7. Every second counts. Wednesdays at 8. Watch, stream on 5.
I just don't think I've ever seen such a clear case of right and wrong. I want to get a first-hand idea of what is unfolding here. This place has been pulverized. A very fierce drone war has been going on.
Quick. Flying bombs. Okay, let's get out of that.
This is what the war really looks like today.
Boris Johnson into Ukraine's kill zone, Friday at 9 on 5.
Join us for a whirlwind of royal drama, dazzling gossip, and the whispers that keep the palace buzzing. The Royals Uncensored, Saturday on 5.
Extraordinary moments every day. Woucher, proud sponsors of Evenings on 5.
On England's southern coast, where dawns meet the sea.
Sussex is a stunning place.
You don't really get much better office than this.
Ancient paths wind through idyllic villages.
We moved down here from London and we do not look back.
And where traditions live on.
We like getting dirty.
A land so familiar, yet full of wonders.
This is Sussex at its best. There's actually nothing quite like it.
Sussex, jewel of the south coast. Starts Saturday at 8 on 5.
Can officers hunt down 3 teenagers trying to steal a moped? Join the motorway cops catching Britain's speeders at 7. First on 5, we're exploring the wonders of Jersey and Guernsey.
"80 miles south of mainland Britain, nestled off the French coast of Normandy,
it is fantastic out here. No 2 days are the same.
2 island neighbours sit side by side in a small pocket of paradise.
Oh, that was beautiful.
Jersey, the larger isle with its golden beaches and bustling resorts.
Just one massive little town, really.
And Guernsey, an archipelago of rocky bays and picturesque ports.
The sea and the wind and the weather just makes it absolutely beautiful.
Both are blessed with stunning natural beauty.
We don't have noise pollution here, that's for sure.
Rich history.
That is a piece of Bronze Age sword. Absolutely wonderful.
Hey, ring clear!
And vibrant communities.
Welcome aboard Victor the Pissy train and welcome to Guernsey.
Fiercely proud of their heritage and local traditions.
Left, right, take aim, fire!